The United States military did not change its tactics in Iraq out of mercy. They did it because the sheer psychology of urban warfare was driving their soldiers completely insane. In 2003, American tanks obliterated a conventional army in weeks using a doctrine of overwhelming firepower. But that victory was an illusion. The enemy simply dissolved into ancient, chaotic cities, trading their uniforms for civilian clothes and their tanks for homemade bombs hidden in the trash. Suddenly, multi-million-dollar technology was useless. A city changes a flat battlefield into a three-dimensional trap where threats come from high-rise balconies and subterranean sewers. In narrow alleys, massive tanks became blind targets, unable to lift their guns high enough to hit fighters raining rocket-propelled grenades from skyscrapers. But the true nightmare was the psychological rot of the improvised explosive device. Every soda can, plastic jug, or dead animal carcass on the side of the road became a potential bomb. The physics of an explosion inside a concrete alleyway are catastrophic. The shockwave bounces off the walls, magnifying the atmospheric pressure until it instantly liquefies a soldier's internal organs and rattles the brain, breaking them on the inside without leaving a single mark on the skin. Worst of all, the enemy looked exactly like the population, using innocent families as human shields. Soldiers had fractions of a second to decide if an approaching car was a panicked father or a suicide bomber. If a soldier hesitated, his squad died. If he acted too fast, he slaughtered innocents. This relentless, invisible trauma simply fractured the human mind. In the early years, the military responded with heavy airstrikes, but they quickly realized that civilian casualties only created more insurgents sworn to blood vengeance. They were losing the war by winning the tactical fights. The military went insane in Iraq because they realized a brutal truth of the 21st century. You cannot shoot your way out of a city, and the more force you use, the faster you lose. Overwhelming fire destroys concrete, but restraint and human psychology are what keep soldiers alive. The true cost of war is never paid in political victories or captured territory. It is paid in the quiet, devastating silence of broken families, fallen soldiers, and innocent lives lost in the ruins of combat. In the chaotic meat grinder of modern asymmetric warfare, the line between the battlefield and the home front completely vanishes. Soldiers go into battle knowing the risks, but nothing can prepare the human soul for the psychological weight of a concrete maze where the enemy uses innocent neighborhoods as shields. When the dust settles and the smoke clears from a devastating explosion, the tragedy does not discriminate. For every fallen soldier who leaves behind a grieving family, a folded flag, and an empty chair at the dinner table, there is an innocent civilian who lost their life just trying to survive in their own neighborhood. These are the forgotten casualties of conflict, the mothers, fathers, and children caught in the crossfire of forces far beyond their control. The physical structures of a city can always be rebuilt from the rubble, but the human cost remains etched in history forever. War does not determine who is right. It only determines who is left, leaving behind a legacy of shared grief that transcends borders and languages. We must remember both the brave service members who made the ultimate sacrifice in uniform and the innocent souls who paid the price of a war they never asked for. If you want to understand the deep, unvarnished realities of global conflict and the human stories behind the headlines, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow Global Military Insight. Thank you for watching, and may we never forget the true cost of peace.